Drag racing fan, Monday morning racer here between the slicks live, and got two great guests on tonight. A wide range of drag racing being talked about right here on Between the Slicks with yours truly, the Monday morning racer. Look, let's dive into some quick drag news, and then we'll bring on our first guest in a few moments. John Hale, the owner of the Best of Texas Barbecue, he's stepping up in a big way. I think one of our guests has actually got a connection, and we'll explore that later. But nonetheless, he is stepping up, going to be sponsoring Terry Haddock's Funny Car, also Terry Totten's machine with Joey Haas riding in it, and also the Leverage Racing Top Fueler. But these events are some pertaining to Dallas, Texas, some to Houston with the NHRA, but John stepping up. Look, love to hear companies stepping up and supporting more in drag racing. So if you need some barbecue sauce, go taste out the Best of Texas barbecue sauce. Coletta Motorsports, they have announced a partnership with Ferguson Facilities. So go check them out. Ferguson Facilities, they are a huge facility provider for us, plumbing and like cleaning products and a wide range of things. Well, they're partnering with Coletta Motorsports for entertainment to take their employees to 4 races next year, use the hospitality, and I'm sure there's a transfer and partnership as well. So we might see a brand new name in drag racing on the Coletta Motorsports ride. That's cool. Always like seeing new names coming to the sport. Bobby Bodie, the son of Bob Bodie, he earned his Nitro Funny Car license and plans on debuting at Houston, not this weekend, but the week after next. Hey, there was a big door slammer drag race, the Sweet 16. J.R. Gray, Tim Slavens, and Justin Curry. They're the ones that headlined the winning spots for Sweet 16 down there in Valdosta. Upcoming events, keep in mind, folks, we've got the Fall Nationals this weekend. I'll be there. Follow Monday Morning Racer on Twitter, Instagram. Well, if Twitter comes back up, it's currently broke, but Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as YouTube for Fall Nationals coverage. The Pdra Finals is coming up in a weekend after this one that we are having before us, and Darlington Dragway. Yes, the legendary Darlington Dragway. They've got a cool pro mod event coming up with a Halloween theme. If you're in the Carolinas, check that out. Highly recommend it. Well, folks, there's the drag news. Let me take a break real quick and thank Strut Masters, because all of this would not be possible if it was not for them. And then we'll bring on our first guest.
Looking for the perfect do-it-yourself air suspension kit for your truck? Strut Masters has got it. Our complete heavy-duty air suspension kit comes with everything you need. It bolts right in with no modifications. You can have it all. Heavy-duty hauling and towing performance and the smooth ride you crave. Get a complete air suspension kit for your pickup at strutmasters.com or call us at 866-597-2397.
Oh, Sam, look, thank you for watching. I appreciate your support. Brandon, thank you, man, for watching. Sup, dude? Doing pretty good, doing well. Without any further ado, let me bring in our first guest tonight. Been wanting to talk with this gentleman for a while. Chris Graves, yes, the true agent of chaos, the owner of Funny Car Chaos. Been looking forward to chat with him. And Chris, look, I've been looking forward to get to one of your events and just haven't been able to do it. But speaking of events, y'all have already announced the first one for 2021. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have. We announced another one yesterday. We have most of our schedule done, just kind of filling in a few blanks before we let it rip.
Well, I know that folks are definitely looking forward to Funny Car Chaos being able to let it rip, and y'all have definitely done that. What, it's been 2-3 seasons now with Funny Car Chaos?
Technically, this is the 3rd season, yes, sir.
All right, so 3rd season, and I really think you've been able to take the drag racing scene by storm. I mean, everybody likes to talk about Funny Car Chaos. So what is the secret sauce, man? How has this thing risen to become a fan favorite, and you've got people East Coast, West Coast wanting y'all to come? How has it got to where it is?
Well, a lot of support from a lot of great sponsors and a lot of support from a lot of great racers is what really makes it happen. But, doing something that no one's done before, putting some fresh flavor in the mix. Everybody loves funny cars. Everybody loves heads up. A lot of people like no rules. So that's kind of what we went with. And it caught on. And we've got a great group of guys that support the series, but an amazing group of racers who have dedicated to supporting each race and traveling the Points Championship Tour, which spans from Texas, even up to Michigan, Iowa, Kearney, Nebraska, Joplin, Missouri. So it's a great group of racers that are making it happen, really behind the scenes. We make the races go down on race weekend, but without the racers and the support of our sponsors and stuff, there's just nothing there. We got to have that support, and we've definitely got it.
You've definitely got it, and the series keeps moving forward. And I think there are elements that the big show can really look at and take from what you're doing. Robert Sabol, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, man. He says, my homie Chris Graves, some great years with Dale Creasy Jr. So yeah, your background is not just promoter, but you've crewed and been a photographer as well, right?
Yeah, started doing the crew thing first, and went with Mitch King with a Top Fuel dragster for a lot of years. Went with Dale Creasy back in NHRA in 06, won the championship in 06, and Robert could tell you some stories that my wife didn't even know probably, but those are for the archives. But went into photography when I graduated college, when I got out of college, and spent 15 years doing that. And for the past 2 years or so, it's been full-time chaos since then.
Full-time chaos. And has the sanctioning body, Funny Car Chaos, has it truly lived up to its name? Has it caused you more chaos in your life than you ever imagined, going from crew, photographer to promoter?
It's kind of all the same to me, man. The drag racing needle got put in my arm as a kid. My dad and my grandfather are both into hot rods and NHRA, and I grew up a national event kid, chasing autographs and getting die cast signed and all of that. And so the drag racing needle's been pretty deep for a while. So whether it was crewing or photography or working on doing the Funny Car Chaos thing, as long as drag racing's involved, I'm pretty cool with it.
Long as drag racing is involved. So how did it come together? Because it's rose quickly, but how did Funny Car Chaos come together? And Funny Car guys are an interesting bunch. They're kind of the rough and tumble guys of, I don't know, four-wheel drag racing. I almost see them as the equivalent to like the Top Fuel Harley guys. It's a very similar crowd, I think. So how have you herded the cats of Funny Car people to be able to come out and race and do it under the platform you're doing it? How did it all come together?
Well, they're definitely a rough and tumble bunch. We like to have fun at Funny Car Chaos. That's the number one rule. And so it all came together. I was trying to put together a match race one day. Did several events over the years at North Star Dragway in North Texas. It's putting together that deal. And I thought, why don't we put this money up for a purse and make them come get it and earn it and make an elimination out of this match race instead of just, 3 rounds and loading the trailer. And so I kind of morphed a match race into an actual race. That was Funny Car Chaos 1 in September of 2017. And we had 27 cars from all across the country show up for this deal. And everybody really liked it. And so at that point, I thought, okay, let's do a few more and just see what happens here. And so we did 4 races in 2018 and went to Iowa, or I went to Illinois, went to Mocan and Joplin, Missouri. All of those went well. So at that point, we kind of understood we got something going on here. Racers were down to do more. At that point, John Hale stepped in, Best of Texas barbecue sauce. Love that stuff. Got a case at my house. Helped me get going on the first year with the first time we had a points championship. And so adding the points championship and expanding the schedule to 8 races kind of poured gasoline on the whole deal. And Redline Shirt Club was a huge part of that as well. Randy at Redline Shirt Club And so we went ahead and that's what we're doing now. We've got going into our third year in 2021 of actually not only having awesome races, but having a points championship where these guys are going to every race, running every session, trying to get every point they can, competing for a title.
Man, spectacular. I know it keeps progressing, keeps moving forward, and it keeps getting better for Funny Car Chaos, and definitely looking forward to what is in store in the future. And in a few moments, definitely want to talk about the future and what your hopes and dreams are with this and the aspirations of the racers. But David here mentions he drives too, so I didn't know about that. You do some driving, apparently.
Yeah, me and my wife both have driven race cars. We both run blown front engine dragsters. We've ran NHRA reunions in Bakersfield and Bowling Green, Kentucky, and 7.0 Pro and Nostalgia Eliminator 1. Me and my dad have a car, and Tara, my wife, drives for Daryl Walden here in Kilgore, Texas. She's also driven Nitro Funny Car. She's driven John Hale's Nitro Funny Car. She actually won the last Drag Racing Online AAFC Challenge race that happened in Tulsa a couple years ago. She's driven Keith Jackson's High Heaven car in Chaos competition. So those were wild weekends. I got my wife driving a Nitro Funny Car and me trying to run a Nitro Funny Car race all at the same time. But we enjoy getting behind the wheel every now and then. Not a whole lot this year. Challenges, COVID, but got our schedule done and prioritized the racing, doing the events, and managed to get all those done. So maybe we'll get back into hot rods next year.
Wow. I mean, crewing, photography, promoter, driver, you got it all, man. I mean, you need like a drag racing, Boy Scouts pennant badge scenario, and you can have all those things. I mean,
right.
That's an impressive resume that you've got there. So with Funny Car Chaos, obviously I want to see it on the East Coast because I'm on the East Coast. I haven't been able to get out to any of the events, and West Coast people are wanting to see Funny Car Chaos. So what do you envision the future of this group to be? Where does it go? I mean, is it a possibility of having East Coast versus West Coast versus Central and overall champion meeting at a Funny Car Chaos finals? I mean, what's the scenario? What's your thoughts with, 5 years down the road?
Yeah, the 5-year plan. Great question. The chaos is ever evolving. We certainly have demand from racers and tracks on East and West Coast. This deal's a Midwest-based thing. Most of our racers are from Houston to, Wichita, Kansas, and everywhere in between there. We do have a little bit Colorado, Missouri, that are chasing the points and going to every race. But, we have dabbled in doing some exhibition races next year on some of the far coasts that won't be a part of the points races. Expecting, these racers are working class folk, man. I mean, my world champion's a pipeline welder from Oklahoma. We got hot rod guys that build race cars. We got firefighters. We got, these are average Joe folks that are driving average Joe rigs, and, we're pulling chaparrals, and, we're not rolling up in, there's not 2018 wheelers at Funny Car Chaos. These are working class folks. And so, to include a race in New Jersey or Washington or Bakersfield or wherever on the points championship makes not much sense for my points chase guys. But the demand is there from racers and fans on the East and West Coast. And so we've got firm plans to be on the East Coast once next year. Can't talk a whole lot more yet, but it's coming soon for what we'll call an exhibition event. That'll be still the same program, 16 car field, heads up, A and B class, run what you brung type situation. Those races will appeal to more regional racers from that area, as opposed to, guys from Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas. It's a full pull to go all the way to the East or West Coast. And we can't penalize them by doing races that far away where they won't earn their points. So we're going to do our 8 race full schedule, and probably have a few exhibition races next year that we'll do kind of outside our geographical norm.
All right, man. It's definitely progressing. I'm sure you're going to increase the chaos. As Dale asked this, why not start different divisions? And I'm sure you're like, it's already chaotic enough. I don't need that in my life. So,
well, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, could we do an East-West? Something like that would be very cool. And that's something I've considered for 2 years already. There's another, we also do the Pro Mod versus Fuel Order Showdown. We run and manage the Outlaw Fuel Order Association. So there's other events we've got committed to doing, and other things, and other racers, and other sponsors, and other everything else on top of Funny Car Chaos. And we've got a new plan. There's going to be a new event next year that I can't say a whole lot about yet, but the announcement is coming soon. And if you're a nitro racer, you're probably going to want to get in on it. It'll be a one-time thing per year in the Midwest for anything burning nitro, and that's all I can say right now. But we're going to add some nitro chaos to the Funny Car Chaos and everything else we got going on.
ooh, I like burning nitro. Oh man,
You heard it here first. So.
All right. Heard it here first. I'm going to keep a lookout for that event definitely. And look, anytime have an excuse to burn more nitro is definitely a good time. Hey, our next guest that we've got, Johnny Pluchino, he loves Galat Motorsports Park. Maybe we could get you over there at Galat. Got some connections. That could happen. I mean, that is a wonderful facility. I think the area would definitely love some Funny Car Chaos. So think about it, man. Think about it.
Yeah, no worries, man. We're down for anything. We're not afraid of nothing.
Cool. Well, it's been exciting to see what Funny Car Chaos has been able to do. And you've mentioned it, before, no rules, heads up. What does it take for a competitor to come to Funny Car Chaos? What do they need? Not necessarily to win, but just go out there and have fun. What are you looking for?
Man, I mean, all you need is a license and a car that's going to pass tag. Other than that, it doesn't matter if it's. I got a nitrous funny car coming next year. I mean, no one's ever seen a funny car pull up there and start purging on the pre-stage. I mean, you can do any kind of combination. It doesn't matter. Nitro, Hemi, Chevy, alcohol, turbos, nitrous, Pro Charger, doesn't matter. If it's a flip top funny car and the body covers the front wheels, the fenders got fenders on it, that's a funny car in my book. As long as the driver's licensed and the safety stuff's up to par, you're game on at Funny Car Chaos. You can show up with anything, any body style, it don't matter. And the way we run our program, it ends up being incredibly competitive racing. You would never think that, a 2015, bodied Monte Carlo funny car is going to line up with a screw blower running alcohol, is going to line up with a Hemi burning nitro with a 69 Mustang body on it, and they run side by side at 380. I mean, it's very entertaining, and you never know what's next. I mean, you literally don't know what's next from pair to pair at the race, and that's what makes it exciting for the fans, but also for me and for the racers. You just throw the dice every time. Every time we get to the racetrack, our racers are a great group of guys who like hanging out with each other. They all fight over who gets to park next to each other. I want to park next to my buddy, and where's the margarita machine at? And we got fun going on. And when you get guys that want to race together, and you get guys there that are there to have fun, and they get to build their cars the way they want to build them. They don't have to build them by a book. They build them the way they want, how they want, and with the parts they can afford, and they find a home the way we run our program. And it's a thing that's worked, and it's a thing that is promoting funny car racing. And that's kind of what we needed. I mean, we started right at the end of when Jeff Burke's DRO series was tailing off. And the only other place to run a funny car besides that is go run Heritage Series in California, or go and run Big Show. And both of those are extremely expensive things to do. And for the Midwest racers, driving to Bakersfield is not easy. So it's awesome racing and all of that. But the Midwest needed something. We had cars around that needed a home, and guys that wanted to do something, and now they can do it and do it their way.
Right, because what I like about with what you're doing is it's able to bring a big show atmosphere to Well, smaller facilities where, right now you're probably not going to have big show cars run regularly due to the nature of the facilities. Not that they're not nice, don't, get me wrong, but, they're probably not going to hold an NHRA national event, but they can hold a Funny Car Chaos, and it can have that feel. I mean, you've had Tony Schumacher come out to an event. You had Terry Haddock run, you set your record, but it was broken recently. And I can tell you some crew members from Terry, because I work with those guys, they want to come back and set that record again. So it's very interesting who all you can have come out at your events. It's wow. I imagine it's chaos, but chaos is cool and chaos is fun.
Yeah, it is, and that's the thing, we race at national event caliber racetracks, and we race at small, pull up in a cornfield and take a right hand turn and there's a drag strip. It equalizes the playing field. I don't have any intention to compete with NHRA or compete with national event racetracks. We go to small markets, we pack medium-sized grandstands or racetracks. We pack the grandstands, those places. We like going places where Funny Car Chaos is the headline show every year. The fans get to see nitro shows that they've never seen before. The Kearney, Nebraskas, and the Mocan dragways, and the Central Illinois dragways, and the Penwell Nights in Odessa, and Amarillo dragway. And I mean, all these places we race at, we're raced there for a reason, and it works. And it's good for our racers. It's good for the fans in those areas to get to see, a badass 2-day funny car show for $20.
Yeah, it's spectacular. You get to see modern cars like, Terry Haddock has shown up. Alan Millendorf, is that how you say his name? Middendorf. Okay. So, he's got a modern, like big show type car, but you've also got so I know Mike Smith very well, and he's been in the Detroit Tiger, if I'm not mistaken, and also one of Bill D's cars. That might be it. So, you've got this interesting mixture of cars, and people can see it, and it's almost like a dream team of funny cars coming together and competing. It's spectacular to see on video and see the news about. So definitely want to see it in person eventually. Look, with as chaotic as it can be, I'm sure. What do you want to see at one of your events that you have not seen? Is it a combination? Is it a fan number? What is it that you haven't seen that you're like, I hope it happens next time?
Man, that's tough. Put me on the spot, This year we had more fans at our races than we've ever had. The participation, we had 55 funny car teams compete in 8 races.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I don't want to be greedy, because it's good the way it is, and we're blessed to have the support that we do of our racers and fans and sponsors, and I don't know, man. I wouldn't change a whole lot.
All right. Well, folks, look, Chris, he may very well hang out with us a little bit longer. We're going to take a break, thank a few folks, and we're going to bring on Johnny Pluchino in just a few moments. Hero Soap Company is a veteran-owned establishment that produces all-natural, essential oils-infused soap that is sold with a portion of the proceeds supporting other veteran groups. Hero Soap Company. Heroes supporting heroes. Be a hero yourself and buy a bar and let freedom clean. All right, folks, here on Between the Slicks, our second guest tonight, the champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. Johnny Pluchino. Man, how you doing tonight, Johnny? Good to see you. And, we were talking about some funny cars there with Chris. I got to ask, would you hop in a funny car?
Would I? Probably not. I really have never had much of an interest. I hope that doesn't squash everything that you guys talked about for the last 30 minutes, but I'm a door car guy. I love doors. If it doesn't have doors, I don't know if I want to be involved.
Love doors. Yeah, definitely funny cars don't have doors. The whole thing doesn't flip. It's definitely different. Yeah. Well, interesting. No funny car for you. Okay, you said if it's got doors. So Pro Mod, Radial versus the World is, anything with doors, or is it just like, I like where I'm at right now in Mountain Motor Pro stock? I know you do. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but any aspirations elsewhere?
Well, if it has a clutch pedal, it interests me. I'm not a huge fan of where the Pro Mod class has gone. It's gone to automatics and 2 hands on the steering wheel. I'm a 1 hand on the steering wheel type of guy. So I would be interested in Pro Mod, I guess. I'm more of a Pro Stock guy, though, at the end of the day. Pro Mod would be my second class. Radial versus the World, man, you want to talk about automated race cars. I'll watch them here and there, but they either go fast, go 3 inches, or go straight up in the air. And to me, Pro Mods, Pro Stock, door cars like that are more exciting. And I'm going to fly the flag for those groups of cars all day long. Big tires, wheelie bars.
Man, I want the clutch back in just about everything. Put the clutch back in, take the throttle stops off, and let drivers drive once again. That's a discussion that happens in so many forms of drag racing right now. And man, speaking about letting the clutch out, you have done it superbly this year. I know I've told you at the track, but live here on Between the Slicks, congratulations, folks. Johnny Pluchino, the 2020 Pdra Extreme Pro Stock Champion. And by the way, you showed up at NHRA National event and show what you could do there as well in Indy. So, man, you've done it all. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been a hell of a year. We're real excited about it, and we just keep looking forward to the next race. And on the way to the last couple of races, we'd say, "Man, imagine we could win this one again," and then we have. So it's a little bit amazing what we've accomplished, but you can't focus on what you accomplished. You got to focus on the next race.
And y'all have focused on the next race. I've got to ask, and I imagine I know the answer, but I do want to ask it and see what you've got to say. What was the fork in the road for you this year? What was all right, we have got to make some tuning decisions. We've got to make some driving decisions. And if we make those right decisions, we can win a championship, or we're going to lose it all right here. What was that moment for you?
Well, I'd say we went out to the first race and we got the job done. We won the race, but we weren't running to our capabilities. We're having some issues in the first 60 feet. We went to Darlington. I went 006 red in the semis, but we didn't have the quickest car. I really had to push it. So after that race, I think the biggest thing for us that year was to go testing. Me, my dad, the truck, trailer, and race car went down to Galat in North Carolina on a 105-degree day, and we planned on making 4 or 5 runs, but we tried something on the second run, and we were real happy with it. And we made some changes over there. We were real happy with how the car responded to those changes, and we loaded up. I texted Tyler Crosston, and I said, "We got a bad hot rod now. Look out." And we haven't lost a round since. So that was a big moment for us to get the car closer to where we wanted it to be. I would also say a big round, a pivotal round, kind of giving us momentum and removing the momentum for another competing team would probably be the final round of Virginia. One of the Virginias. I think it was the first Virginia where we ran JR car in the final round. Now, he had the quickest car really all season up until that point. And we went out there, and I'm not going to lie, you got to do what you got to do to win the race. So we went out there, and I rushed him. I don't know if it affected him. I don't know if it didn't or did, but went out there, put the top bulb on real quick. And when he put his top bulb on, I went right in, and we gained a considerable margin on the reaction time there. And we got the win from that point. And I feel like that put a little bit of wind in our sails. When you go against a team that's that good, like JR Carr, Frank Gugliotta, Rich Purdy, the whole group there, they do such a nice job, and they have great power and such a good race car that you know you're going to be fighting them all year long. So when you have to run him in a pivotal match, and I can gain 100 points, and he doesn't gain the 100, or in the semifinals at the next race when I run him, and I can gain it and keep moving, and he's done. Those are the matches that are going to win or lose you the championship at the end of the year. So gaining that momentum, gaining that confidence, combined with the momentum we gained in testing, those were the two big moments I think that we had this year that kind of pushed us forward.
So I want to take it back, and so for folks that don't know, this year just about did not happen for y'all, period. What happened in the off season, in the tragedy and yet the triumph, to make y'all to be able to have the 2020 that you've had?
Yeah, so we don't have 3 engines; we have 1 engine, and every year you want to step up your program a little bit. And Strutmasters is on board, and we wanted to put our best foot forward. So after the end of the last season, we decided we were done with the 632 route. We were going to put all our eggs in the pro stock basket, and we did that. And we brought the engine back, and it had a couple of runs left on the rods. So we told the group at Kazi Racing Engines, hey, make some runs on the dyno with this thing, and let's do some R&D, whatever you guys feel you want to try. We don't tell them what to do. They're a great bunch, and they do what they need to do. So unfortunately, on one of the dyno pulls, the beginning of the off season, we had a crankshaft failure. No fault of them. It's just something can break. I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't a new crankshaft. We had it in the engine for a while, but it broke. And it was just unfortunate, because when something like that breaks at 8,000 RPM, that's swinging that much arm, it breaks a lot of, it takes a lot of stuff with it. So, there was a lot of parts there that we were not planning on changing or replacing. Realistically, it's kind of our budget for the year, realistically. And just to have partners like strutmasters.com and Chip Laughlin that just are behind you and are going to make sure that we'll get through it together. And he did that. And, John and the team at Kazi Racing Engines, they put together a hell of a piece after that. So it kind of sucked that it happened, but man, when they got done with that motor, it's pretty bad. So it helped us have the success we're having this year.
Yeah, Vito is pretty bad. I like how y'all name your engines. And folks, if you want to know more about why and how they name their engines, you can check out the undercover video on Monday Morning Racer following and shadowing the Pluchinos. Look, Johnny, how bad is your dad chomping at the bit to get in that car? At least make a pass or two. I mean, have you even let him done some test runs at all this year?
Hey, he does what he wants. He's the man in charge at the end of the day, right? He's put this program together since my dad's been racing since he was a teenager. So slowly over time, that's how this program developed. It didn't develop by saying, hey, one day let's go race cars and let's go buy everything. That's not an option for a team like us. So, he's put this program together over time. My dad's had success. He's a 2016 champion. He's won multiple races. He's done well over time. But if he wants to get in the car, he gets in the car. It's that simple. I'm not the one telling him yes or no. But yeah, he's relentless. Every race we go to, I want to make a run. After we wrap this thing up and we had the championship locked up, he's like, oh man, if the air's not that good and we can't go 3 seconds, maybe I'll drive. And I'm going, oh man, I hope the air's good, because I want to get behind the wheel of this thing again. It's just too much fun to let go. But, I enjoy watching my dad drive. I enjoy watching him compete. But I don't know. I want to try this thing.
Well, I do got a question that I want to get to from a fan in just a few moments. But you mentioned it. Chasing the threes. I've seen the trophy. You've seen the trophy. The trophy, I wish I took a picture so I could show everybody. It is spectacular. Like you said, you've got to build a mantle for it. You don't just put it on the mantle. What is it going to take at Virginia for Pluchino Racing to go 399?
Well, we have the stuff. We have the car. I think the conditions will be there. They've been there the last couple of years. I'm not going to lie. The last 2 years, the conditions have been there. Nobody's capitalized on it. It's not easy. So to go out there, to go 399, you got to make a near flawless run. But there's probably 4 or 5 cars in the pits that have the equipment to do it, but can you? You're talking about the difference between a 4 flat and a 399. It's a big difference. It doesn't seem big, but you got to move the numbers somewhere. It's not a quarter-mile run. It's an eighth-mile run, and it's hard when you're a naturally aspirated car making X amount of horsepower. It's hard to when you're already that efficient to keep picking it up. So it's going to take somebody making a very good run, the conditions being perfect, the track being great, and the driver doing his job. You're going to have to be within 50, 60, 70 RPM on every gear change. The run's going to have to be near perfect, and the air is going to have to be near perfect. But we will go out there. We will wear it out in testing, and we will try some things. We have nothing to lose right now. So we are going out there. We are bringing the biggest bat we have, and we're going to swing it as hard as we can. And if I shake, 6 out of 7 runs, I'm fine with that, as long as the other run is a 3-second time slip.
Man, looking forward to seeing Virginia then. I think it's going to look with so many people saying, all right, we're going to shoot for the threes because you've sewed it up. When you park on the property, boom, that's it. You're the champion. There's no way for anyone to do anything mathematically. And with what's happening in Pro Nitrous between Jim and Tommy, and then the 3-way battle in Pro Boost, PDRA has got some spectacular stories. And a buddy of yours, Corey Voss, is not mathematically out of it either, even though Wes would have to go out early, and he hasn't done that at all this year. So there could be some intense drama at the World Finals for the PDRA.
Yeah, Corey's been in that situation before, and I was the Wes at that time. I was the one up 3.5 rounds. And, hey, if he somehow gets him first round and is able to take him out and goes out and wins the race, he's your champion. So they have a fighting chance. They need to do their job. They've had a good season, and so is Wes. Wes is a tough competitor. So the Halsey Tommy Franklin thing is really exciting to me. It's 1 round exactly. So that makes every run of qualifying that much more important when they're tied exactly at 1 round. So whoever out qualifies the other one just knocked it down from either less than a round or more than a round, and that's huge. So qualifying is huge. They're going to be leaning on it qualifying. Then you go to Pro Boost, and it's between 3, maybe even 5 guys at the end of the day if the top couple struggle. So you look at that, man, that's exciting. What's going to happen there? And then I know for a fact everyone in Pro Stock is going to be going out there with the biggest Louisville slugger they have, pointing to the fence and letting the clutch out. And I don't know if anyone will do it. I feel that at least one person will get it done. I do not think this 3-second trophy makes its way into 2021. I just hope it comes back to Long Island, New York.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the PDRA finals. I am. So look, I really have been paying attention to Pro Nitrous this year. I think Tommy is going to get it. Well, who do you think? Is it Jim or Tommy?
Man, you're putting me on the spot here. I'm going to be honest here because that's just who I am. I would have said Tommy for a while, but Jim's running really well right now, and I'm probably foolish to vote against the guy running the organization at the end of the day. The track that I'm going to. I love Tommy. He's a great guy. Just amazing for this sport. He does so many things. And it's hard to pick against a guy who runs that well on a team that is that consistent and does their job. But, man, if I was at the shakedown at Virginia and Jim was clicking off runs, and then he came back to Galat and he's been clicking off runs since. So he's flexing his muscle right now. It could come down to the starting line, but if it's a 51-49 to me, Halsey.
Well, man, I'm hoping it's decided in the final round. Mano a mano, heads up. That's what I'm hoping for in Virginia between Jim and Tommy. That will be epic. So let me bring in this question from Brandon. And folks, in the comments section, chime in. Who do you think, Tommy or Jim? Who do you think in Outlaw 632? Who do you think in Pro Boost? What do you like the most about the PDRA finals? Do you think Johnny's going to get that $399? Chime in the comments section. Brandon asked this. So with 2020 being such an unsure time, what are your views on being able to proceed the season with such tight restrictions and or unsure financial circumstances? Has the energy been the same as normal? And basically, what has it been like in 2020 doing drag racing compared to years previously?
It's been tougher and it's been unsure, but once you're at the racetrack, you're focused in your program. It's difficult making travel plans a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead of time instead of months and months ahead of time. Usually, you'll have your schedule sewed up by October, November for the whole next year, and you know where you're going. Making those late plans and how that affects families and things like that is definitely tough. But once you're at the racetrack, and I would love there to be 20, 30,000 fans in the stands at every race, because that gets you going. That really fuels your fire. But at the end of the day, if you need that to motivate you to beat the guy next to you in the other lane, then you're just not as driven as I am. Because if there's 0 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, if there's COVID, if there's no COVID, I want to beat the guy next to me. I want to whoop him. I want to go out there and I want to win the trophy at the end of the day. For me, my team, my sponsors, everyone who partners with us, it's a group effort. And I feel like we have the best partners and people in the business to where we should go out there and win. And that's our job. And that's what we're there to do. So I understand there's tons of people watching on Speed Video Live. There's tons of people following us. They're out there, they're watching, and we're here to do our job. And I hope we put on a show so far, but it's not over.
It's not over. Hey, Corey Voss chimes in, says, Voss racing to the top. Look, I'm hoping for a good battle there in Outlaw 632. And I would, I love stories. It would be cool to at least have Wes, biting some fingernails through the day there at the Virginia Finals. But speaking of Voss racing, you made a wheelie bar change to Voss wheelie bars, and it's been pretty good since then.
Yeah, we've been undefeated since, so I can't really complain about the change over to the carbon bars. Wasn't a huge thing in pro stock. A lot of guys weren't doing it, and I was looking at our program, and I was looking at the carbon bar, and we looked and said there might be some opportunity in a stiffer lightweight bar here, and I'm real happy with the change. I would not in a million years go back to a titanium or chromoly wheelie bar. Chromoly wheelie bar, you're just stacking weight in your car in an area that doesn't help your car. So you might move ballast around in your car to the back, to the front, but on a wheelie bar, it's never going to assist you in doing things that you need to do to get down the racetrack. So chromoly wheelie bar suffers there. When you go to a titanium wheelie bar, you have the lightweight ability there, but at the end of the day, you're also giving yourself some flexibility. So if you watch in slow motion, you watch a titanium wheelie bar, you'll see flex. What that does to the tire is it kind of gives you a little bit of a porpoising motion. And it's just not as efficient as a stiff, lightweight carbon fiber wheelie bar. We're really happy with our decision there. It's one of the reasons that we've had a little bit more success rolling into the second half of the year.
Well, look, man, Kyle Lang, he says here the Pdra boss on the line. He mentions 4-minute burn down and a $3.99 pass. Let's see it. I mean, look, juice that car up, get it really, really cold, and burn some weight off and make someone wait and run $3.99 and mic drop it, man. I mean, do it. Do it.
If someone does a 4-minute burn down, then lays a $3.99 pass, I take my hat off.
Yes. So, your dad was a part of an epic burn down, and Kyle was there on the line, and I'm sure you were behind your dad. What was it like? I mean, y'all gonna do anything today?
I've been down that road before. My dad is one of the more stubborn drivers to ever pull up to the pre-stage bulb. So he sat there quite a few times. I got used to that at a young age. If my father does not want to stage, he most likely is not going to stage. We've been down that road with 2, 3, and now a 4-minute burn down. I probably said a couple things on the radio trying to get him to roll in, but that didn't much matter. He did not stage. Look, you need to, in my opinion, you need to play your strengths and you need to play against their weaknesses. So if it's going to give you an advantage because that driver's driving style, then go ahead and do it. But we're here to win the round. We're here to win the race. And that's what my dad thought gave him his best chance on those particular days. They're exciting for the fans. You might see them. You haven't seen any from me this year because I've had a little bit of a different strategy. Not because I don't want to play games or I'm afraid to play games in any sense of the word, but I've just been playing a different game. So you never know. I'm going to change it up at some point, and I might sit there for a while too.
Hey, as I have talked with many, in the staging process, the rules are clearly outlined, and you can sit there and do your thing, and it just depends on what the starter wants to do, Kyle Lang himself, and what the drivers want to do. So, sit there, be exciting. It gives me, the limo guy, and Kyle with Straight Line Media plenty to film and talk about. And by the way, Kyle, thank you for watching and commenting. I need to get you on the show eventually, so you need to come on Between the Slicks, and we can talk about doing the whole on the line thing on the line. All right, Johnny. 2020 champion of Mountain Motor Pro Stock. But Mountain Motor Pro Stock might not be the healthiest class in drag racing right now. Though I love the class. Where do you see it in 5 years? Can it come back to prominence? Can it make a rise? Can it get some notability beyond the 500 cubic inch guys and get out of the shadow and being like the redheaded stepchild of pro stock racing? Can it do that?
Oh, it certainly has the potential. It's going to take a lot of the guys sticking together, in my opinion. I don't know what the appropriate stage is for it, but they have to all be on the same one. If we're on 3 different stages on the same weekend, the show is not as exciting as if we're all on the same stage. So we all need to stick together as racers. But man, watching a Mountain Motor Pro Stock car go down the racetrack side by side, going, whether it's in the quarter mile, going high 16s at almost 230 miles an hour, or in the 8th mile going 4 flat at 180 miles an hour. 5-speed transmissions, front ends up in the air, guys still driving these things, and tight racing. I don't care if there's 6 cars, 10 cars, or 16 cars in the pits. It's hard to win every round because the guy next to you is going virtually the same ET as you. So it's very tight racing. It's hard to go one round and then another and then another. Trust me, they're tight. It's not where one guy is going 4.0, the next guy is going 4.20, and the guy behind him is going 4.40. They're all within a couple of months. So it makes it difficult. This is some of the most exciting, some of the best racing, some of the hardest race cars to drive. I promise you that. Anyone who's driven a Mountain Motor Pro Stock car and gotten in a Pro Mod 500-inch Pro Stock car, anything else, they will tell you that, I promise. Again, it's going to take some unity. It's going to take a little bit of a spotlight, and I'll invite anybody in my pit at any point. If you're at a drag race, come take an up look close at these cars, stand there where we warm them up, and then watch them go down the racetrack. They are one hell of a beast.
They are. I have definitely this year seen some exceptional and some, oh my goodness, he drove through that moments in Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Look, Johnny, thank you for being on the show tonight. One last question for you. Wes Buck, and Wes Buck is one of the biggest names, if not the biggest name, in drag racing news with Drag Illustrated, that being his baby and heading it up. He put you in the top 5 of the best drag racers currently right now. How does that make you feel, man?
It was amazing. I was pretty speechless. I watched that video just to say, I'm a drag racing fan. I've been a drag racing fan since I was a kid, a young kid. I always watched it. I had the diecast Pro Stock funny car dragster models in my room hanging on the wall. I went up and I got John Force's autograph, Bruce Petragon's autograph, Warren Johnson, Kurt Johnson. My dad was involved in it and tried his hand at a little bit of pro stock stuff late in the 90s. But at the end of the day, I'm a drag racing fan. So I was sitting there watching that video going, hey, I wonder who the top 5 drivers are in drag racing right now, and Stevie Fast came on the list. I said, that makes sense. Stevie does a hell of a job, wins a lot of races in a lot of different areas. Erica Enders, that makes sense. She's a hell of a driver. She's consistent. This is her job, and she does it extremely well. A 3-time champ, and could be 4. Sean Langdon, I understand. I'm not a huge Top Fuel follower, but I understand that he's a great lever, and he's put up his put a nice resume together. So then when it came to 4 and it said Johnny Pluchino, I kind of rewound it like 4 times because I didn't know if I was hearing things or what the deal was. But he put us on there, and I appreciate that someone could see what we've accomplished. And I don't know. I don't know that I ever thought I'd be on a list like that. To some people, that might not mean anything, but to me, it does mean quite a bit. We put a lot of effort, a lot of time into this, and I will tell anybody who's watching, I put my heart and soul, as does my dad, as does my team, into drag racing. We want to win every round. There's nobody that wants to win at the racetrack more than us. Because we love it. It's something that we have a ton of fun doing. Competing is I can't even explain it. Competing at this level, when you've dreamt about it for so long and you're finally able to do it, there's a passion that burns in me that I can't really explain. So to be able to see this success relatively early in my career and get named to something like that, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I'm thankful.
Well, man, look, congratulations for being named to such a list. Congratulations on the championship. I hope that I can say congratulations on being the first man into the 3s. Thank you for being on the show tonight. And Johnny, by the way, thank you for watching. I've noticed you've watched and you'll comment. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you very much. Look, last words, whatever, before we let you head off.
This is a team deal. I want to say 2 things. One, this is a team deal. You need, if you're a drag racing fan and you're out there and you're watching your favorite racers go up and down the racetrack, take a look at who's on the side of their race car. Take a look at who's supporting them to choose to invest and market through their race car. And just if you're not buying products from them, that's one thing. At least like their page and follow and do whatever it takes, because they're doing that to get to you as a viewer. And at the end of the day, they could be spending their dollars elsewhere. And then we lose drag racing. So that's one thing I would say. 2 is I want to tell everybody why drag racing is so special and such an amazing sport. And I did an article the other day with Competition Plus. And in the article, I said something like, what makes drag racing different is you have one chance. You don't get to go back. So if you're on a football team or you're on a baseball team, let's use football for example, and you go out there, you throw an interception, and you're going to get the ball again. You're going to get the ball. You have a chance. Your defense has a chance to stop them. You have a chance to go back down the field, and it's going to be a long game. There's still time. You got one chance in drag racing. You have one chance over and over and over, because every round you have one chance. And you go out there and you let the clutch pedal out late, you're done. Back up. You missed the shift and put in the tire shake, you're done. Back up. So it's a 4 or a 6 or a 7 second, depending how fast you go. It's a 4, 5, 6, 7 second race that you have to be perfect on. And that there's a level of mental toughness there that needs to be appreciated, because it's you go into that, you take a deep breath, and it's game on. And there's something special about this sport, and everyone behind the scenes makes it all happen. But you got to get the job done, and it's exciting, and that's why I love drag racing so much.
Johnny Mike Ashley chimes in and says, love Johnny and his dad. Great father and son team. That's definitely the truth. Johnny, thank you for being on the show. Folks, that's the champ.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you, strutmasters.com. Everyone who supports us. Check us out in Dinwiddie in a week. We're gonna try and burn the scoreboards down.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, this has been Between the Slicks with yours truly, the Monday Morning Racer. I'm going to be in Enos, Texas this weekend covering the Fall Nationals there at the Texas Motorplex, the house that Billy built, and enjoy NHRA Camping World drag racing. So follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, Twitter, for information, for looks in there at the Fall Nationals from myself, the Monday Morning Racer. And make sure, subscribe on YouTube if you have not. Follow there on Twitter, like on Instagram and Facebook. And be right back here, 8 p.m. next Thursday. I don't got a clue who we'll have on, but we'll have someone on to talk about drag racing between the slicks. Sam, thank you for watching. He says, great show, Lee. Folks, I'm the Monday Morning Racer. And until next time, God bless and keep the pedal to the metal.